Welcome back to the Bullhitters, and in this episode you'll be joining us as we each take on our local darts competition. Who knows just how well we're going to get on, and hopefully one of us may come out victorious. But sit back, relax and join us for this episode of Bullhitters Play Comps. So first up, you'll be joining me down at Rocket Ronnie's in Southampton for my local ADC event. My dart of choice tonight, for anyone interested, is the littler Generation 1 Prodigy darts. I was giving them a full run through after receiving them just a couple of weeks back. First game in the group, I was up against Pierce, a really good local player, and I knew I was going to need to play well in this game. Pierce managed to take the first leg with a 44 checkout, putting me on the back foot going into leg 2. I then managed to take out the 85 checkout on double 20 to take leg 2 and take it to a last leg decider. In the last leg decider, I managed to kick off with a nice 1-3-5. This gave me a great boost of confidence going into the rest of the leg. After just 12 darts, I left myself on 145. Unfortunately for me, I narrowly missed double 20 to take the match after pinning the treble 20 and treble 15. Not to worry, next visit to the oche, I managed to pin double 10 on my second dart. Annoyingly for me, in the second group game I had a bit of a performance dip and lost this one 2-0 to a great opponent in Sean Bridle. Let's head straight over to Bailey and see how he's getting on.
Right, so I am off to the Modus Super Series qualifier. Obviously all the ADCs lead to, if you finish top 32 in the region, you get to go to the qualifier. So I'm off to Plymouth now. I'm going to keep you updated with it. Let's see how I get on. Right, so we just arrived in Plymouth. Yeah, we're about to go into the venue. Got all my stuff. Bullhitters case. Well, you can't even see it. But yeah, I will. I'll show you inside when I get there. So here's a quick look at the venue, and as you can see, it is a very nice setup. This is the Legends Lounge in Plymouth for the qualifier. We had lots of good players there. We had county players, we had Super League players. It was a really good turnout. They had the under 65 average tournament first and then went on to the qualifier straight after. It was a really nice setup. Let's see what I can do.
Before Bailey gets into his game, let's head over to Ollie and see how he's getting on.
Right, so I've arrived at the ADC in Norwich tonight for my comp. I'm in a good group, got a couple of county players in there as well as myself, so it's going to be no easy task to finish in the top 2 and get out of that group. I'm now going to head into the venue, get some practice starts in before my first game, and I'll see you later on in the video. We've got a full quota of 24 players tonight with plenty of county players in attendance and a few players who I play Super League with. I am feeling good tonight. I've been playing well in practice, so hopefully I can go all the way here.
So going into Ollie's first group match, and he is against a good opponent who goes by the name Mark Sadler. Ollie manages to kickstart his leg with a nice 140 and then takes the first leg with a 32 finish within 3 darts. Unfortunately for Ollie, this game wasn't meant to be, as Mark goes on and takes the next 2 legs. Not to worry for Ollie though, as he has plenty more group matches upcoming. Back over to me, and I am now in group game number 3. This time I'm against Dave, another good opponent, and I managed to take the first leg with a nice 84 checkout. Dave then pulls one back in the second leg, taking out the 79 in 3 darts to make it 1-1, again going into another last leg decider. In this last leg decider, just like before, I managed to kick off with a nice 135. I just can't quite find that 180. I luckily then take out the 68 finish for the match, slipping into the big 5 there with my first dart, but recovering on the 63, going treble 13 and double 12. At this point, the group standings were all over the show and I wasn't sure whether I was going to make it through. I managed to win my last group game against Paul with a 67 finish here to win it 2-1. Let's head back over to Bailey and get straight into his match.
Right, so I've just come outside. I'm about to play my game. I've got my game soon. I'm playing someone called Ellis. I've been talking to him actually, he's a really nice guy. But yeah, so I'm playing him first game, and it's best of 11, so it's up to 6, which is like longer than anything I've ever done. My most legs I've played is like 5, where it's been like 3-2, so it's going to be tough. Hopefully I can last, hopefully I can win. If not, then I'm happy I still got it. But yeah, let's give it a go. I'll let you know what happens afterwards.
Next game on board 1 is Ellis Rapper versus Bailey McNamara.
As Bailey previously mentioned, unlike mine and Ollie's events, this was a straight knockout match due to it being a modus qualifying event. Bailey's game has just been called, so let's head into the match.
So into my game now, and throughout this game you're going to see some ups and downs. It was really disappointing, but then also I was happy with how I played in my first qualifier. I had moments where I played well, but I waited for so long for this game. It was like a 6-hour wait, and it was really tough to get straight on the board. It's also the first time I've ever played this format. I've never played longer than 3 legs, so it was really tough, and that endurance side of the game I really struggle with. Right, so I've just finished my game and unfortunately I did take the L. I lost 6-4, so I'm not upset with that. I played well, I was 4-2 up. I took out a 119, check out on the ball. But yeah, it was just, to be fair, once I got to the 4-2, it was just like the fatigue of it, and people wouldn't believe it, but it was actually really tiring. During the game, like I said, I've never played that long a format before, so that was tricky. But yeah, like I said, I didn't play terribly. Didn't play my best, but I can't be mad. I still made it here. So yeah, hopefully the other boys are doing well, and let's get on with them.
So back over to Ollie, and he is now into group game number 4. In this particular match, Ollie is already 1-0 up, but in this leg, he has an absolute stormer. So sit back and enjoy.
Oh, he loves a 170. There's another one. He keeps hitting 170s at pinches.
Right, so I've just come out to my car. I've got a couple of group games left. So far I'm second and I've got 1 game left to go, and I should hopefully be able to win that one to be able to progress through to the quarterfinals. Been a bit of a mixed night, to be fair. I've had sort of 170 plus average, a couple in the low 60s, but then I did have an 85 average in my last game, which I managed to take out a 170 on as well, as you will have seen from the footage, which was really good. So yeah, just 1 game left now. Hopefully I can progress through and win that one, and then it'll be on to the quarterfinals. But let's get back into it and see how we go.
So Ollie in fact managed to get out his group stage, go on and win the quarter-final and semi-final, putting him now into the final. Unfortunately for Ollie, Mark goes on an absolute rampage in this first leg, taking it out in 12 darts and going 1-0 up. Ollie then starts off the next leg with a nice steady ton, and then goes on to miss a load of chances at double and lose the second leg also.
So to summarise my night, it was a bit up and down in terms of averages, but I did manage to get to the final where I could have played a little bit better. but I did come up against a very good player in Mark Sadler. I had plenty of decent averages on the night, and also it was very nice to have a 170 checkout in there as well with a little 12 darter. I'll be looking to come to more of these ADC events soon to get more practice in and hopefully be able to push to go towards the Modus qualifiers soon.
So back to me now, and I luckily managed to make it out the group stages and push on into the quarterfinal. I kicked off this quarterfinal with a nice little switch and managed to score 96. I then took out the 109 checkout in 3 darts to take leg 1. Unluckily for Ollie, he just narrowly missed out there in the final, so can I get some revenge on his behalf? Lucky for me, my double in was on point in this quarterfinal, pinning double 16 there first dart, and my opponent thought it was a best of 3 match. In fact, the quarterfinal onwards is best of 5. Again pinning the double 16 first dart to win the quarters 3-0 and move on into the semi-final. Into the semi-final now, and I managed to pin double 20 after dropping my second dart for leg 1. Moving on into leg 2, and I took out the 52 checkout in 2 darts to take leg 2 and push on 2-0, putting me just 1 leg away from the final. Unfortunately for me, Billy kept his bottle here and pinned the double 2 last dart to make it 2-1. I hit a nice 135 to start off the 4th leg and then follow it up with my first 180 of the night to put me on 186 after 6 darts. I then whittled it down to 32 remaining and pinned the double 8 on my second dart to put me into the final. So now moving into the final, and first of all we must bull up to see who throws first. I managed to pin the bull, and then Dave narrowly missing out pinning the 25, so it was me to throw. First leg I pinned the double 5, second dart to take leg 1 and putting me 1-0 up into what was a very nervy final for me. Moving then into leg 2, again pinning double 16, first dart to put me 2-0 up in the final. Third leg now, and Dave goes on an absolute stormer, leaving him 46 after just 9 darts after that 180 you just saw there. Luck must have been on my side though, as Dave had an absolute nightmare on his doubles. I felt so guilty, and I managed to whittle it down, taking out the double 10 on my last dart and winning my first ADC vault. I've only just started doing the ADC vaults properly again, really need to make it a regular part of my practice to help me improve my game. A massive confidence booster tonight, and hopefully we can push on to the next few months.
We are victorious. Come on. Very nervy final. Pulled it back 3-0. Matey could have had 11 dart leg to go 2-1. Felt guilty. Was having a nightmare on his doubles. Pulled through. 3-0 victory. Come on. Oh, bingo.